With the Oscars only a few days away, it's the event that everyone is talking about. So today we're counting down the top 10 celebrities that are banned from the 2024 Oscar Awards. First up we have Will Smith. Probably the most infamous Oscars moment of the last decade was when Will went on stage to slap the host Chris Rock after he made a joke about his wife Jada Pinkett Smith. In 2022, Will received a 10-year ban from the Academy, which means he will definitely not be attending this year's award show. Celebrities had their own opinions on the whole slapping ordeal, but what most people don't know is that the beef between the Smiths and Chris Rock actually goes back several years, so the tension has always been there. Chris once took aim at Jada while he was hosting the 2016 Oscars because the couple had very publicly decided to boycott the event. At the time, their protest was due to the fact that no other actors of color were nominated for the second year in a row. Chris said, quote, "Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited." He actually said this during his opening monologue, and it really seemed to sting the actress. The comedian also took a dig at Will at the very same time. He spoke about his performance in the movie Concussion and said that it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. He then added that it's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West. It was such a burn that the couple were clearly not able to shake off. Next we have Justin Roiland. The creator and voice actor of Rick and Morty was fired from his own show after a series of disturbing allegations surfaced about him. Justin was also charged with felony DV against a former girlfriend for an incident that occurred in January of 2020. This resulted in him being charged with one felony count of false imprisonment by menace, violence, fraud, and deceit. If he was found guilty, he would have been facing 7 years in prison. Adult Swim then decided to cut ties with him, and they released a statement confirming that the beloved animated series will have to continue on without him. This news came as a massive shock to Rick and Morty fans because Justin is the voice of the two lead characters in the show, as well as various other ones. His attorney then released a statement saying, "To be clear, not only is Justin innocent, but we also have every expectation that this matter is on course to be dismissed once the district attorney's office has completed its methodical review of the evidence." But with everything else that eventually came out about Justin, like other shocking allegations, it seems like his career might have finally gone out the window, and it's not surprising that he won't be at the Oscars. Of course, we also have to mention Jussie Smollett. The Empire star became the center of controversy when it was revealed that he lied about being the target of a hate crime. In 2019, he claimed that he was brutally attacked by two men wearing ski masks in Chicago at 2 a.m. Jussie then went on Good Morning America to tell his story and said that he was forever changed by the event. But there was already skepticism swirling on social media at this time. He said that he didn't hand over his cell phone to police because he had private pictures and videos and numbers on there, and said that the attack felt like minutes, but it was probably only 30 seconds. Though a little more than 2 weeks after that alleged incident, Jussie was arrested and charged with filing a false police report. It was eventually revealed that he paid two brothers $3,500 to stage the attack in an effort to try and raise his show business profile. The actor was found guilty by a jury of 5 of the 6 felony disorderly conduct counts that he faced, one for each time he was accused of lying to the police. As a result, he was sentenced to 30 months probation and 150 days in jail. He's slowly making his way back to Hollywood these days, but it's doubtful that he would ever make it to the Oscars again. Next up, we have Amber Heard. After losing the highly publicized defamation trial brought against her by Johnny Depp, it would be very unlikely that the actress would ever return to the big screen, let alone the Oscars. Followers of the case were glued to their screens for the 6 weeks that the trial was live streamed, and many people felt that the testimonies brought against her were damning. In the end, Johnny was awarded $10 million in damages, while Amber was only awarded $2 million. Although in December, both of them agreed to a settlement where she would only have to pay him $1 million. In a statement, Johnny's attorney said that he would donate the money to charity because for him, the case was never about the money. In her own statement, Amber said that she had lost faith in the American legal system, and she also said that the settlement allows her to finally emancipate herself from their marriage. We now know that she's using an alias while she vacations across Europe with her girlfriend and her daughter. She's in Spain at the moment living her best life, which is what she's been doing since the trial ended. Considering that she needs a disguise just to travel around, returning to Hollywood might not be something that she's willing to do. Now let's talk about Loughlin, because her reputation is in complete shambles. In 2019, several college coaches and officials became embroiled in the nationwide college admissions scandal, but what actually caused it to make headlines was the involvement of famous actors. Loughlin, the star of Full House, and her husband Massimo Giuliani was said to have bribed college officials with $500,000 in exchange for having their two daughters appear to be on the USC crew team in order to get into the school. Despite the fact that their daughters Bella and Olivia Jade were completely unfamiliar with the sport, the couple pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, and they were hit with an additional money laundering and bribery charges. Lori was sentenced to 2 months in prison and was expected to serve her full sentence because there was no time off for good behavior for less than a year in the federal system. Aside from the 2-month prison stint, she had to undergo 2 years of supervised release, conduct 100 hours of community service, and pay a fine of $150,000. She released a statement admitting to the crime and said, "I thought I was acting out of love for my children, but in reality it only undermined and diminished my daughter's abilities and accomplishments." Felicity Huffman was also involved in the college admissions scandal along with her husband William H. Macy. Felicity made a so-called charitable contribution of $15,000 to participate in the college entrance exam, which was a cheating scheme on behalf of her eldest daughter, Sophia Grace May. The Desperate Housewives actress and her husband then made arrangements to do the same thing for their younger daughter, but they later decided against it. After she pleaded guilty to fraud charges, she was sentenced to 14 days in prison. She then had to publicly apologize for her role in the scandal, admitting she paid to improve her daughter's SAT scores. She said, "I want to apologize to the students who work hard every day to get into college, and to their parents who make tremendous sacrifices to support their children and do so honestly." Felicity and Lori were among dozens of wealthy parents who were charged with participating in schemes to bribe coaches and university insiders or cheat on entrance exams. The scandal, which drew in Hollywood stars, hedge fund millionaires, and athletic coaches, exemplified the advantages afforded to wealthy applicants and fueled debates about fairness and equity in admissions. Another actor who is banned from the Oscars is Isaiah Washington. He was among the original cast members of Grey's Anatomy, and he played Preston Burke. But in 2007, after the show's 3 successful seasons, it came out that he called his co-star Tia Knight a homophobic slur that starts with the letter F. This happened during an argument on set with actor Patrick Dempsey. The fallout was so bad for Isaiah that ABC decided not to renew his contract after that incident. He issued an apology at the time and denied using the word on the 2007 Golden Globes award show, but he later admitted to it during an interview on Larry King Live, where he admitted to using a number of obscenities that he wasn't proud of. He then tried to backpedal and claim that he did not mean to use the slur in a homophobic way. Instead, he used the word to describe someone who was being weak. But the incident greatly affected Tia Knight, who identified as gay. In fact, he had to reach out to his family for support after the altercation hit the headlines, because it really put a spotlight on his sexual orientation. In the end, Isaiah admitted that no one wanted to hire him after the scandal, and he recently revealed that he has retired from acting because, according to him, quote, "the haters won." Richard Gere is another famous actor who participated in a controversial Oscars incident, one which led to the Academy's decision to ban him from the awards. Back in 1993, Gere used his platform while presenting an award to criticize the Chinese government about the human rights violations underway in Tibet. His decision to not follow the script did not sit well at all with the Academy. They ended up banning him for as many as 2 decades for changing his speech. Gere said, quote, "Studios are interested in the possibility of making huge profits, but I'm still making the same films that I was making when I started. Small, interesting, character-driven, and narrative-driven stories. It hasn't impacted my life at all." Gere returned to the Oscars in 2013 when he joked by telling Huffington Post that apparently he has been rehabilitated. He said, "It seems if you stay around long enough, they forget that they've banned you." You gotta love that one. Next up, we have to talk about Jared Leto. Now, the actor has always been a bit of a controversial figure, but he's recently come under fire for his obnoxious method acting. This really came to light with the release of the movie Morbius. In order to prepare for his first role as Dr. Michael Morbius, Marvel's very first on-screen vampire, Jared put the crew through hell. He would remain in character for the duration of the shoot, even pretending to be disabled in between takes and using crutches on his bathroom breaks, all because his character in the movie could not walk. While speaking to Uproxx magazine, the director Daniel Espinosa confirmed this, and he said that his method acting became a major problem on set because he would take just too long to move around between each scene. Apparently, he even had to be given a wheelchair to move around in for the sake of speeding him up because he was just wasting that much time. The craziest part about this was the fact that the movie turned out to be a critical and box office failure, so all of his antics were for nothing. Jared does have a few good movies under his belt, but Morbius was just so bad that it completely destroyed his reputation as an actor, especially when you add that to his role as the Joker in the Suicide Squad. And lastly, how could we forget to talk about Shia LaBeouf? He's known for his bad bad behavior and questionable choices, which gave him a reputation of being one of the most obnoxious celebrities that Hollywood has ever produced. When he tried his hand at directing, he made a short film called Howard Cantor, which was shown at the Cannes Film Festival in May of 2012. It received significant acclaim and praise from critics everywhere, but no one realized that the script was actually stolen. It turned out that Shia copied word for word from a book by Daniel Close, and he did not give him credit at all. To make matters worse, when he was confronted about it, he apologized and then later revealed to have plagiarized all of his apologies from other people. Add this disaster to the allegations made against him by FKA Twigs in 2021, and you can see why he's really problematic. The singer filed a bombshell lawsuit alleging that he was physically and verbally violent towards her during their relationship. She also made the claim that he would attack stray dogs in order to get into character for his film The Tax Collector. She even described a time when they were both in a car speeding towards LA and Shia was driving recklessly. He allegedly removed his seatbelt and threatened to crash the car unless she professed her love for him. So there's really no reason that he would be getting hired for any more projects. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.